Hello from me, Lazar Hristov. We continue with the last lesson of the free CSS course. Last time we covered Chapter 8, and the next 3 chapters are of the paid course, so now we're looking at validating a CSS file. Opening the PDF file. As we mentioned in Chapter 19 of the HTML topic, validation is the process of checking the code, in the case of a CSS file, whether the code contains errors, inaccuracies, and does it meet the standards. And, if there are any, they should be corrected and removed. And as we already mentioned, validation is not mandatory, but it is desirable and recommended. I personally recommend validating. Especially for beginners, mandatory. Let's take a look at how the validation process for a CSS file is implemented. For our example, we will use the code of the CSS file from the third part of the themes. We first go to one of the following addresses and we see basically the same as in the previous file. That's why I won't even show the example. We'll look here in this lesson only from the PDF file, and here we have 3 ways, by URL, when it comes to a site uploaded to the internet. By uploading the site now and via direct inserting the code. And here we will choose the third option. Which means, validation by direct input. For this purpose, we click on the tab and the following opens. Here we need to insert the code from the CSS file that we will use. We insert it and press the check button. In this case, I chose a file that has no errors, and only 6 warnings, so it turns out that we created our file very well. This is this CSS file, which is from the home page of our site, and it's 212 lines long. And it turns out we don't have any errors, thank God. We only have a few warnings, but more on those in a moment. Here is the entire screen that we will see. Here we have the opportunity to copy the code that is below, one or both, depending on the image that we want to put on our site, whether it should be like this or like that. I've put both on my website. Usually they are copied into the bottom part, the footer, like it is on my site. For example, here they are. Here. Now, a little further down, you can see the details of our warnings. In this case, they are due to the use of 2 of the properties, which are newer, transition and transform, which we included, for compatibility with older browsers. In other words, we included such prefixes, so we won't bother with them and will ignore them. And I'll say this again about validation, validate and then put this sign too. So that people know that your site is validated according to CSS standards. That's all for this tutorial and for the free CSS course. Best regards.